What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. So several months ago, I posted a video about what the difference is between an occupational therapist and a physical therapist. And it seems like a lot of prospective students have found that video and have follow-up questions for me. So this video is all about my path to becoming an occupational therapist, and I'll share with you the steps I had to take to get where I am today, and I hope that it answers some questions that you have. So first, I'm just gonna start with my story and how I found occupational therapy. I was working a miserable job in sales, and I was looking to make a huge life change. I had a pretty good sense that I wanted to get into healthcare because I wanted to help people, and that was something I could 100% get behind, and I knew that I would be fulfilled doing that. I was actually shooting around the idea of becoming an ultrasound technician. And one day I was speaking to my mother-in-law, and she's a nurse, and she comes from a family of people in the healthcare industry, and she actually suggested that I look into occupational therapy. At that time, I had never even heard of occupational therapy, so it piqued my interest. And after doing some extensive research, I had a pretty good feeling that this would be a really good fit for me. If you caught my last video, you know that some of the perks to becoming an occupational therapist are there are so many different fields to get into. If you get bored easily, this is a great field to consider because you can make a change into different parts of OT, whether it's pediatrics, geriatrics. You can specialize in hands, feeding and swallowing. There are just so many niches to capitalize on. It really offers a lifetime of learning experience for you. So I thought, this may be a really great fit for me. I decided I was going to take a really big risk and go for it. I had about 6 to 7 months from the time I first heard about occupational therapy to get my application in and meet all of the requirements. So I did it. I gathered my hours, I took my courses, checked all the boxes, put the packet together, sent it in, crossed my fingers, and luckily I was accepted. And really, this has been the best decision I have made to date, with the exception of marrying my lovely husband. I say this because occupational therapy has opened so many doors and opportunities for me that I could have never imagined, even while in school, even while working my first job. I mean, I'm here, I have a YouTube channel, and that is something I would have never, ever thought I'd be doing. So really and truly, it's a great field to get into, and helping people is, for me anyways, the best thing that I can do here on this earth. So what do you need to do to complete your application to become an OT student? I went to California State University, Dominguez Hills. So these requirements that I will be listing off come from this school directly. The caveat here is every school is different. Generally speaking, especially in California, you could expect the requirements to be about the same. When you start getting into other states, you're probably gonna find some differences here and there. And of course, internationally, I cannot speak to, but I'll share them anyways, just so you have a reference point and it may help you in making your decision. So there are 6 main requirements that you need to meet in order for your application to be considered. The first requirement to becoming an occupational therapy student is you need to have a BA or a BS from an accredited college. Graduating with a degree in communication was pretty unrelated, which meant I had to start basically from scratch. The second requirement is that you need to have completed these 5 courses: statistics, human anatomy with a lab, human physiology with a lab, abnormal psychology or abnormal personality, and developmental psychology across the lifespan. The third requirement is a minimum GPA of 3.0 or higher. I would say it's a pretty average GPA that schools consider. So if you have a 3.0 or higher, you would have a fair shot of being considered. The fourth requirement is you need to have completed 80 volunteer hours under a licensed occupational therapist. And the fifth requirement is you need 3 letters of recommendation. One of those letters needs to actually be completed by the licensed occupational therapist you did your volunteer hours under, and the other 2 can be just professional references that you feel could attest to your academic capabilities. Again, this may vary institution by institution, but you do need the 3 letters of recommendation, and it's very helpful to have someone attest to why you would be a wonderful occupational therapist. The sixth requirement is completion of the GRE with an analytical writing score of 4 or higher, a quantitative reasoning score of 140 or higher, and a verbal reasoning score of 146 or higher. So you've submitted your application, you've been accepted, congratulations. Now you're in the program. And every program is set up very differently, of course, but I wanted to touch on your Fieldwork 2 rotations because it's a huge part of the program and it's gonna set you up for your career going forward. Baby squirrel, are you eating all my kale? We have a baby squirrel. We have a baby squirrel. I see mama squirrel. Oh, there's 2 baby squirrels. Ah, you have a sister. You're so cute. Ah, you guys, we have baby squirrels that decided to live in our backyard because we're growing all sorts of yummies for them. So they eat all our kale and all our berries and everything delicious, but that's okay because have you seen a baby squirrel? Oh, they're playing. They're wrestling. My heart. Okay, guys. My words of advice for you when it comes to your Fieldwork 2 rotation is do your homework because you will be working these Fieldwork 2 rotations 40 hours a week for about 12 weeks each. So you really want to set yourself up for success and be in a setting that you think you could work in long term. Because a lot of times you'll actually get a job offer halfway through or towards the end of this rotation. So do your due diligence, make sure this is a place you can see yourself potentially working in the future, a location in which you feel is feasible for you to get there like a full-time job. In my particular case, I lived like an hour and a half, 2 hours up to 3 hours with LA traffic. It was a crazy commute and I wasn't about to commute full-time from where I live down to LA. So I decided to negotiate some contracts locally because both of the locations I was interested in doing my Fieldwork 2 rotations in did not have contracts with the school I was at. So I had to broker a deal between the school and the location I wanted to work in. And that is absolutely something you can do if your school and the facility is open to it. Don't be afraid to ask because you will never know if you don't ask. Not only did I set up those 2 contracts for my Fieldwork 2 rotation, my second rotation ended up being my current job. So it was totally worth it. So now I have students coming from Dominguez Hills to my place of work to complete their Fieldwork rotation. And I just think that is so cool. And that's really what it's all about, helping each other out. So just a few words of advice for you to consider. And finally, I wanted to end the video by talking about your job opportunities once you've graduated and you've passed the boards. Really, they look great. Let me tell you guys, you will have people calling and emailing you every day asking you if you're interested in this job or that job. You will never not have a job, at least for now. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. It's an amazing feeling to work in an industry where you're getting called daily, weekly, constantly asking, how about this job? Are you interested? Can you please refer us to your friends who may be interested in this position? If you do, we'll give you a $2,000 bonus for referring. It's a pretty sweet deal. You have opportunities to become a travel therapist, which is something I was initially interested in doing, but now that I have a child, it would just be a little much. It's where you take off for maybe a couple of months, a few months at a time. You accept a contract, they pay you a much higher, typically, much higher amount because you're traveling and your contract is short term. You have a living stipend, you have a food stipend for some of these companies, and you're getting paid quite well. That's really nice if you can afford to be super flexible. Maybe you take a 12-week contract and then you go travel for 6 weeks before you accept your next contract. A lot of the companies I've been contacted from are here nationally. I do know of OTs who do international contracts and work in Italy and abroad, and that's amazing. So sky's the limit as far as that's concerned. Just another reason to love OT and another reason to pursue this path. I hope you found this video helpful and got a little bit more clarification about what to expect on this journey to becoming an occupational therapist. It is amazing. If you have any questions, you guys, honestly, feel free, leave a comment below or shoot me an email. I'll do my best to get back to you in a timely manner. I wish you guys all the best on your journey, wherever it may lead, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.